Got Your Back Podstream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com. What's going on, folks? Welcome to Got Your Back Friday night post-game live stream edition. Weren't feeling so good after 20 minutes, were you, Oiler fan? Well, they self-corrected. Always a good sign when a team can straighten itself out. Power play comes alive, and the Oilers salvage one in Salt Lake. Welcome to Got Your Back, folks. Brought to you, as always, by our amazing title sponsor, Play Alberta, the official gaming partner of all the major teams. Whoever you cheer for, Play Alberta is cheering you on. Bet on your favorites, get in on odds boosts, and make game time more interesting. Deposit today, get a $50 free bet with the code GYB11. That is GYB11 at playalberta.ca. Coming at you from the Adrenaline Diesel studio. Adrenaline Diesel is a Caterpillar recognized and authorized dealer and repair facility. For expert service for your CAT engine, visit adrenalinediesel.ca. Rob Brown still in Mexico, but hopefully joining us for our second segment. For now, we got Struds and we got Zuby as well. Zuby, you got to hop in here, buddy. I'm gonna shame you a little, and I think you know what this is going to be about. But Struddy, when the Oilers go down a couple of goals, and we know Zuby is the voice of the fan, right? He's the voice of the fan. He chimes in with a text that says this: early idea for tonight's title, bye week continues. And then he waited a minute, and then he said, not back from break yet. The frustrated Oiler fan, you had thrown in the towel on him in the first period, Zuby. Thou dost not believe.
Well, that was deadly accurate, though. Oh my goodness! I mean, they were still on break for 20-some minutes, so at least it sounds like they sorted it out internally. But it was terrible. That was not good to watch. So I was definitely feeling frustrated.
What do you figure, Struds? Tough off a break like that, or what?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's tough. And I think that, it's only 5 days or 6 days, whatever it is, but it is, they're rolling. You're kind of like coming in, new rink. The guys hadn't seen. I think that it took them a little while to get going for sure. They weren't quite up to it right away.
No, they were not. Unlike us, we have stayed sharp during the break. We delivered a couple of our best shows of the season during the little off week here, and we're ready to rock and roll again tonight. So as I said, Rob Brown will be joining us. We'll have Brownie Points, and we will have Struddy's World, and we'll have Take a Lap. We'll have our core blue liner, Ask Us Anything. We got a great show lined up and ready to rock and roll tonight. So let's get to breaking down this beast, shall we? Brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. The Drive at Home holiday event. It is happening now. Get up to $13,600 in total discounts on a 2024 Ram 1500 DT Laramie Crew Cab. It is a beast of a truck. It's a beauty inside and out. See your local Ram dealer today. Well, Struds, we haven't had a lot of real positive segments, I would say, where we discuss Ryan Nugent-Hopkins in a super positive way this year. So while there's lots of different things to break down from this game, lots of different elements to talk about, I think we'll just start with Nuge and an overtime winner that you loved in particular.
Loved. He was so decisive with his movements. If you didn't see the game, the puck comes over top of the Oilers' blue line, and the carrier is kind of harassed a little bit, curls up back towards the Oilers' blue line, and Nuge is there. He's on his stick, lifts the stick, knocks the puck past the player, and just gone. He is gone and flying up the ice, and there's no way he was passing this. He was looking shot the whole way. The goaltender doesn't play it well. He shoots it short side self, and he buries it. But that is a decisive, hard play. And in hockey, we talk about all the time, a hard play that's decisive, that is aggressive. And Nuge did it, and bang, he scores. No doubt about it. And we haven't seen that a lot from Nuge this year. And, maybe this is the beginning of something for Nuge, but that's the Nuge we want to see. That determined, aggressive, hard-playing Nuge.
21-35 in ice time, 3 shots on net. He had 5 attempts, and he was one of 6 Edmonton Oilers who decided to throw a body check tonight. So kudos to Nugent Hopkins. 1/3 of the team decided that would be a good idea tonight, and Nugent Hopkins was one of them. So way to go, Nuge. So he gets off the schneid. That's a big goal. That's a confidence boost. And the power play got going as well. Struds, we're going to break down what we liked about the power play in just a minute, but let's get to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and the Weiss Johnson Soundbox. Get your home holiday ready with Weiss Johnson. Any new furnace installed before Christmas, offering a free duct cleaning. Whether your old furnace has given up or you're just looking to upgrade for a cozier holiday, they got you covered, and your ducts too. Visit weiss-johnson.com for more details. Jingle.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on how good it feels to score, and a follow-up question from Spec on the power play, I believe.
I mean, obviously, I think the biggest thing about power play is when you score. I thought obviously it was a big moment to get that one, so it was a great job by Pears and Bouchard keeping pucks alive, and obviously a great shot on the second one.
That goal just hasn't been going in for you this year. You come down in overtime, and did you pick the spot? And it must have felt good to see it go in.
Yeah, I saw it. Obviously, he's the opposite hand, so just try to see a spot and hit it. I mean, I think quite a few times this year I'm either missing it by a couple inches, or it's goalie's making a good stop on it, or post or whatever. But obviously, nice to see him going once in a while.
Leon Draisaitl on Nugent Hopkins coming up big.
Nuggy's a clutch player. He plays really well in tight games, and obviously for him to get it rewarded is we probably get more excited about it than he does seemingly. But obviously great play by him all around. Nice goal.
Okay, Struds, let's get to the power play in a minute here, but I first want to talk about what the Oilers brought to the rink tonight. And what it seemed they brought to the rink was heavy legs, not a lot of effort, not a lot of intensity, like sloppy with the puck. It was hot garbage in that first period, buddy. From 97 being one of the biggest culprits, that first goal was ugly as sequences you'll see with Connor McDavid. And the rest of the team followed suit in the early going, buddy.
Well, the goal you're talking about, the exchange between Bouchard and Connor McDavid was just, it was sloppy, right? Like Bouchard tries to pass to him, and I think he tries to pass it back, then it goes back to him. Like it was just, they weren't sharp is what I'd talk. And Utah was ready. Utah, this is their first time having, guys that went to Stanley Cup final in their building. They didn't want to get embarrassed. They want to play hard. And, they looked like a team. I know this sounds crazy, but sometimes after a break, you're not as sharp as you want to be. You're not at game tempo. Just think about it. The Oilers had a day off, 2 practices. One was a skill day, a day off, a practice for heading on the road, and then coming down to Utah. So they didn't look game tempo to me. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a blowout. But give the guys credit, and this is what good teams do, is they steady the ship. Go into the break, steady the ship, then come out and start building a game. Instead of over 3 periods, you do it over 2.5, I guess.
I think you're being nice by saying they weren't sharp. Not sharp is like pucks are bouncing off your stick a bit, and maybe your details aren't quite there. They weren't working hard enough. They didn't come out and work hard enough. They didn't have any sort of level of, hey, we've been off for a while, let's make sure, right? Nobody finished any checks. Nobody, like it was rotten. And Struds, Connor McDavid turns a puck over, and he knows it's him. And he stops skating on the back check. When do we ever see that from Connor McDavid? Turns a puck over and then doesn't kill himself to get back, and it's 1-0. So it was sloppy from him, sloppy from a bunch of the guys. They were being outworked. Utah, I thought, they kind of make the Oilers look a little foolish in the first period. They were dominating all kinds of zone time in the offensive zone. It was ugly. But to your point, they self-corrected. So apparently they got into it after the first period. Sounds like it was a good, solid, healthy discussion. Back to the Weiss Johnson sound box. Here is Leon Draisaitl talking about the team after the first and the way they handled their business.
Yeah, sometimes there's moments where it gets louder and, where the uncomfortable things need to be said, unfortunately. And, the one great part about our team, there's never finger pointing. If a guy, decides to say something, he puts himself into that conversation as well. So, yeah, I think we're a mature group, that can handle those moments.
Yeah. That's important, Struds, for a group to be able to do that.
It is. I think we got to be careful. A few guys probably said, "Hey, that's not good enough." Like, I don't see this being a players only meeting after a 7-game loss, right? Like, or
Right.
7 streak. Like, I envision it being more maybe the captain or one of the leaders saying, "Hey, like, we all know we're better than this. Like, this has to be better." And the coaches come in and saying, "Guys, that's unacceptable. Our level needs to be higher. We've had a few days of practice. We have to be out and get going." But you shouldn't have to come in after 5 days off and just peel the paint off the walls as a coach or as a captain. Like, that shouldn't happen. So I want to believe that it was more some guys speaking up and speaking the truth. And, as Leon said, it's uncomfortable to call. They say, this isn't it. This is who we are. Look at the goals against. These are awful. And then you get going again and they self-correct and find their way. Because if you need to be woken up after 5 or 6 days off with a paint peeling session, you really got to take a look at who you are as a group.
Yeah, and I wasn't in there. I don't know if anybody was yelling or hollering or anything like that, but you listen to them post-game, and it's very clear that, regardless, 5 days off or not, Chris Knobloch said that it was unacceptable what happened in the first period, right? Unacceptable isn't a word that you chuck around if your team just, didn't quite have it. Unacceptable is when you display something that it's completely unacceptable for the group to display, and that's what it was. So, yeah, I don't know how many guys, I don't know who it would have been. Whatever method they have in there, they employed it. The leadership group, whoever talked, whatever, they figured it out, and they were better. Like, it's not like they were fantastic in the second period, Struds, but really it shifted. Now, everybody on the planet thinks the next thing we should talk about is the power play. Everybody on the planet but one guy. Now, one guy is you, Struds, because I know that you know where this thing started or where you think it started, and that was with another rock-solid penalty kill that held the fort.
Yeah. So, I don't know how many times I have to say this and keep beating this drum till someone actually gets the message, but that's 8 games in a row now where the Oilers have done a job of killing it. And, it's so important to this group because, again, it allowed other parts of their game to get going. But even more importantly than that, those players that are on the penalty kill feel good about themselves and they are building confidence. Just like a power play that scores makes the scorers feel good, a PK that functions and does its job feels good about itself. So you're building confidence through your specialty teams for guys that don't get in the power play for their 5-on-5 game. That was a humongous penalty kill. Absolutely humongous penalty kill. And it gave them a chance to stay in this game when they needed it the most. That's what good penalty kills do. It's not, maybe you got to want to kill them all, but there's some that you have to kill. And that was one they had to kill.
Yeah, totally agree. Definitely, the things that have been good lately, the things that they've been able to rely on lately came up big for them when they needed them. The penalty kill is a great example. But Vasily Podkolzin again, Struds, who's been putting together quality game after quality game and recently is finding the twine a little bit here. What did you like about the way he handled that whole sequence?
Well, I highlighted it with Nuge, right? Nuge gets the puck and he's determined he's going to come down and he had a shooter mentality. He's like, I'm blasting this thing. And you can say the same about Podkolzin early in the game. He gets that puck and he's coming over and there may have been a play to be made, but he's like, you know what? I'm shooting this. And correct me if I'm wrong, Shugger. I think he shot it on the ice, 5-hole.
5-hole, yeah.
He handcuffed or fooled the netminder. And I just love that. Would he have taken that shot a week ago, 2 weeks ago? Did he have that in him? He came down and he was like, I am ripping this thing. And that's a good shot. Like that's not lucky. That's a goal scorer's goal. So now we're talking about 2 games in a row where this guy has scored both nice goals, shooting from distance. They're not rebounds. Not that there's anything wrong with rebound goals, but those are scoring goals. Those are goal scorers' goals. So I think that was great. It actually eerily similar, he and Nuge's goals in many ways.
Yeah. The other thing I liked about that play is it was a nice take. Like in stride, Draisaitl, the pass was a little bit in the air, and I think it might have even hit the defender's stick, and Podkolzin batted it down out of the air, grabbed it. I love the fake. Like he kind of faked the pass, looked him off, kind of froze the goalie just a second. Just a really nice goal from a guy that, it looked like a confident goal scorer's goal. And good for him, back to back. And that's going to go a long way. Yep.
Huge for that team and huge for Draisaitl, right? Like you look at tonight, the power play, the penalty kill, Nuge and Podkolzin. Like, yeah, it was not the ideal start, that's for sure. And they're going to need a better start tomorrow. But some huge parts of their team might be dropping into place, at least for one night tonight.
Yeah. So we can talk about the specifics of what we liked better with the penalty kill. Maybe when Brownie drops in, we'll get a little bit more specific on the power play. Sorry, Struds. Definitely want to get your thoughts on it too. But safe to say, when you have that much practice time between games and something like the power play is struggling, I watched their practices. Like they definitely put a focus on this. We can get into a little bit more detail with it, when Brownie jumps in, Struds, but clearly there was more movement there. Like you just had to watch to see guys were not standing still.
Yeah, and that's something, how many times have we come on here after a game and said the power play looked stagnant. There wasn't a lot of movement to it. It was, and the pucks weren't zipping around. Well, tonight you could see it. Tonight there was more movement. The goal that Draisaitl scored, that's one we've seen scored many, many times. Through the slot, bang, a quick little shot. So those are all things that you want to see, and you have seen from the Oilers many, many times. Puck retrievals, all those types of things. So I do think the practice, and you're down there, I think you're 100% right. I think the practice helps. But I think there's also an element that you just take a deep breath. Like, guys, our power play is one of the things that we're so good at, and it has been good. Just take a break. Step away for a little bit. It's like a restart for the power play, and it comes out tonight and scores 2 goals. And honestly, I think that those 2 goals provided a ton of energy for the rest of their game and kind of got them going, got them feeling it in many different ways.
Bit of a lucky bounce on the one power play goal, but I mean, they were good on their retrievals. They were taking care of their details, and you kind of make some of those breaks. So, they had nice possession time. They were doing a good job, and boom, you earn that break, and Draisaitl ends up burying it. That other power play goal, though, buddy, I think it was, just let me make sure I'm talking about the right one. Yeah, the McDavid goal, the McDavid power play goal. So beautiful shot there. But did you see those 2 keeps by the Oilers in the zone?
Right.
So Corey Perry,
right,
like, I don't know how he didn't break his hand. He drags one out of the air, a clearing attempt, and keeps it in. And then Evan Bouchard, like 15 seconds later, with another really nice keep at the blue line. Just 2 critical plays that lead to that opportunity for McDavid.
So those don't make the score sheet. No one's going to be writing, Speck isn't writing about that in his article, right? But those are huge moments in a game, and the teammates appreciate it. And they know, Leon, Connor, Nuge, Bouch, they know what you're talking about. And they'll say, hey man, great play there to make that stay in, because that's such an important part of it. Unfortunately, like you say, you don't get it on the score sheet, but it's the movement. And again, we have seen it at times, but tonight, a lot of times in their power play, it looked like the ice was tilted towards Utah's net. Like they were on it. They were going at them. They were relentless in their puck pursuit and moving the puck and skating, and Bouchard was faking, and there's all these things that are going on. So a lot of reasons to believe they should feel good about themselves. Well, the question is that a one-off? Was Utah having an off night? Do the Oilers just have a good night? Well, we'll find out tomorrow when they get into Avalanche country, and I'm sure they'll have at least one power play. And can they make it look as dangerous as tonight?
My buddy Rob is he's a big Vancouver Canucks fan. He was over watching some of the game tonight, and the 3-3 goal, we got into an argument over who was more at fault. So Lawson Krause ties the game with an even strength goal in the third period. What did you see on that one, Struds? Do you recall that one where Nuge got a little flat-footed just outside his own blue line? And then maybe some question there about if Bouchard overcommits instead of maybe playing a little more between the two attackers. What did you think there?
Well, let me just rewatch it again because I don't want to get it wrong.
Take a quick look. So for those that didn't see it, like Nugent Hopkins gets a little flat-footed in the just outside his blue line. Now, my buddy Rob felt like he needed to do a better job getting back and taking the attacker on the left that ended up scoring. I thought that Bouchard, recognizing he had a guy coming hard to his right, maybe could have played it a little more between, almost like a 2-on-1 in that situation. Instead, he flared off to the left and went at the puck carrier. Puck got threaded through him over to the other side and in. Struds, there's a mistake there for both of them as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think there? What do you see? Am I being too hard on two?
So let's back it up a little bit further. And this was the point I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if there was a line change or not. There was a line change. So off a line change, it gets more complicated because all the people piling on the ice are trying to figure out, okay, who have I got? What am I doing? And credit to Utah because that was a quick transition. They go right and they transition right away. So the two, well, I think Nuge, it's fair to criticize Nuge, but no one seems to get back quick enough. McDavid's a little bit far outside the dots, and then Bouchard's kind of left on his own. It's really a 2-on-1 almost for Bouchard.
That's what I was thinking.
And it comes in. So yes, could he have backed off a little bit? There's no doubt, but there are kind of four guys surrounding the puck carrier, and then the goal scorer Lawson Krause gets by himself. So communication's key. Someone's got to say, I'm taking this guy, I'm coming over. Like McDavid's coming over, and say, I'll take the puck here. Boosh, you keep off and play the guy who ultimately scores a goal, which is Krause. But that's communication because it is very complicated off of a line change, especially on a quick transition. So I really give Utah credit for not allowing the Oilers to set up. But at the same time, I think communication from Connor McDavid was probably one thing really lacking there to give Bouchard direction.
So they end up tying it up there. By the way, Andre Desardian says a visual would be better here. We do not have the rights to show that video. We would get thrown off of YouTube if we did. So that's why we can't roll in the video tonight as much as we would like to. So they end up tying it. And this thing doesn't even get to overtime if it isn't. Both goalies made pretty good saves after that. But what a save by Calvin Pickard there on, was it Schmaltz, I think?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? This guy's a fighter, right? He just finds a way to let's look at that third goal. Lawson Krause, not a noted goal scorer, but he has scored, goals in the NHL, and he just picks the corner on that one. And so, a buddy of mine texted me, is that a bad goal? And I'm like, I think it's a pretty good shot. Like, I guess it'd be nice if he makes a save, but he makes a huge save, as you mentioned, to keep it tied. And the guys post-game talked about it and how important that save was at that moment. And Pickard again, I think in his head, he's like, I got to keep it 3 or less. If I do 3 or less, I've got a chance with this team. And that seems to be his mantra because he never seems to waver from, right? He's always like 2 goals, whatever. And if you do that of this team, you got a chance to get a win or at least an overtime loss.
He's been good, man. Calvin Pickard, there's been some steadiness there. JL says, don't worry, Brownie will have a drawing of that play on his napkin when he shows up. Talking about the goal that we're not allowed to show. All right, that was a breakdown brought to you by Alberta Ram dealers. Let's get to our Relentless player. Brought to you by UCAN Youth Services. Are you looking to hire entry-level staff for your company? UCAN Youth Services trains youth in pre-employment skills to help get them ready, willing, and able to join your team. Check out www.ucan.ca for more information. Got Your Back is a very proud monthly sponsor and partner with UCAN Youth Services. If you can, we highly encourage you to check out the amazing programs they have. And if you can, maybe become a monthly donor as well. Struds, who do you got, buddy?
Oilers power play. We've been grinding on this thing all year. I mean, what were they, 27th going into tonight? I haven't looked at the updated. I'm guessing they have moved up a bit. But we've asked for change of players, or there's been discussion of change of players, deployment, who's first, who's second, all that stuff. And tonight, that group rewarded their coaches with 2 power play goals. They were the difference in this game. So for that reason, they wear the crown of Relentless players tonight.
Love it. I don't know. Well, I think you've given the penalty kill Relentless player before.
Could give it.
I was going to say, for you to be given the power play Relentless player before the penalty kill is setting a standard, but it's not all defense all the time in your mind.
You know what,
like
buddy,
that,
honestly, it was unexpected.
Versatile.
It was unexpected, Shogger. I did not expect that from the power play tonight. When they got down, the thing I thought is like, oh, don't worry, the power play will dig them out. Did anyone out there think that was going to happen? I sure didn't. And I wish I was that smart. So no, I think that you have to reward them and recognize it when it surprises you and gets the job done.
Didn't get the winner late in the game, but it looked dangerous late in the game too. They were all over it, and they had a few opportunities there. Couldn't bury, but the power play definitely looked dangerous. And imagine the swing it will be for this team if this power play starts heading back in the direction from whence it came, because as we know, one of the best in the game for a long time. First time 2 power play goals in one game this season. Gregor had a stat tonight. He put it out on Twitter. Can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it was like between 20 and 24, they scored 2 power play goals in like 20% of their games. 2 power play goals, it's nothing for the Oilers. Had not done it yet this year, and now they have, and it makes a huge difference. Zuby, hop in here before we wrap this segment. Let's get to our DeBoer's YouTube poll. Incredible deals, 50% off TaylorMade stand bags right now at DeBoer's. All clothing and footwear you can save a ton on as well. $250 savings on the TaylorMade QI10 driver. I had that one this year. It's spectacular. All kinds of great deals for the golfer on your holiday list. Or, hey, start getting ready for next season. The sale will end on November 30th. So, got another day or so here, helping you play better golf at 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. Zuby, what do we got for a poll?
All right, the poll question tonight is what's the most encouraging sign for the Oilers right now? And the choices are penalty kill perfect in 8 straight, power play starting to click, some secondary scoring showing up on the scene, and the final choice is 97 and 29 lighting it up.
All right.
So what's encouraging? What's encouraging going forward?
Yeah, some pretty tantalizing options because, I mean, for the penalty kill to have turned itself around, that's massive. For the power play to be heading in the right direction, that's massive. The secondary scoring, Podkolzin has been good. And then 29 and 97 have been all world the last little bit here. So, yeah, they've got some stuff, that's turning, going in the right direction. So look forward to hearing what you have to say. Do us a favor, hit the like button here on YouTube if you get an opportunity to. Apparently that really helps us. Also, if you aren't a subscriber, subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Twitter or follow us on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you download us in podcast form. Hit that follow button for us because that definitely helps us with our numbers, and we really appreciate that. Okay, let's wrap the segment. When we come back, I think Brownie will be ready to go here fairly soon. Tons more shows still ahead here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zwitzky at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
All right, welcome back to the show. Time now for our takeaways, brought to you by Martin Motorsports. If you got an outdoor adventure enthusiast on your shopping list this holiday season, oh, this is the place to go. I'm telling you, whether you're looking for a new ride this winter or winter gear, accessories, they have it all. Skidoos, helmets, jackets, monosuits, layering wear, boots, gloves, and so much more. Black Friday sale is on now, so visit them in store or online at martinmotorsportsstore.ca. All kinds of fun inside that spot. How we doing, Brownie?
Doing very well, thank you. How are you two gentlemen doing?
Good. Now, Struds, is it just me, or did he not say he was coming home, that he was going to be back home? Like, did you just decide arbitrarily to extend the trip?
No,
you asked when are you coming home, and I said I will be doing the game on Friday. I just didn't say where I'd be doing the game from.
You're blowing his cover, Shogger. Let the guy just pretend he's in St. Albert or whatever.
Thanks, Struds.
It's okay. Internet is the same wherever, hey? The internet is the same wherever.
Margaritas aren't.
Brownie, yeah. So Struds and I just dug into a bunch of different things. Two of the ones that I definitely want to circle back on with you are the power play and the goal by Nugent Hopkins. But maybe just start with your thoughts on the play that Ryan Nugent Hopkins made to win this game. And he's been in this league a long time. It's not like his confidence is going to go away and never come back, but you still have to think that play in this game can help turn him in a better direction than the one he's been going in.
I think the goal that was a game-winning goal was bigger for RNH than it was for the team. So yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't matter how long you've been around. When you're expected to do something and it's not happening, then it starts to weigh on you. I mean, there's high expectations for this team, and RNH is supposed to be a big part of that. And he has not had the offensive production this year. What I love about the goal, the defensive effort, and we've talked about it. Maybe he's not scoring. Defensively, he's been good. But what I love about the goal, RNH's normal shot, he goes far below the blocker. That's a shot. It's a tough shot. It's hard for a lefty to do, but that's his shot. This goalie tonight's opposite hand. So if RNH goes with that shot, it's in the glove. RNH comes down and changes and goes short side where the blocker is. That's a veteran play. And I do believe, I know that when I played, I hated playing against goalies that caught with their opposite hand. Because when you just, where you expect the glove to be, it's not. Where you expect there not to be the knob of the stick, there is. And RNH, I don't know how many times we've seen him always put it low blocker. Tonight he went low blocker on the opposite side of the net. And I think he did that purposely.
I don't know what that goalie was doing, buddy. You could see that line the whole time. Like, not to take anything from Nuge, because it does take skill to score, but he seemed to be way off his angle there, man. So listen, I'm not going to criticize Nuge for scoring on a goalie who's not playing it well, but I loved how he was on it. He attacked that puck, lift the stick, and he was gone. Like, at times I feel like Nuge, especially this year, will get it and kind of look around for something else. He's like, I'm gone. See you later. And he ripped up that ice with the intention of shooting and hopefully scoring in that moment, Brownie.
And what was Nick Schmaltz doing? The defenseman back. He made it turn it almost like I'm going to touch each guy on the bench before I go make on my back check. So, but it's true. And you guys both know it, that if a team survives the first minute and a half in overtime with Connor and Leon on the ice, they now feel they can win a hockey game. So when they get a face-off and Connor and Leon are out there, they're thinking, here's our chance. So for RNH, that's even bigger for RNH to score a goal in that position.
Yeah. Brownie, the power play tonight comes up big, really, really big. A stretch of 6 or 7 minutes or whatever it was there. The game swings in a big way. What did you notice most different on their power play?
Well, there was a few things. I thought they moved around a lot more. And not just Connor and Leon. Like RNH, a couple times, he went behind the net, and Leon was like deferring to him. Here's the puck, and he was coming up the opposite side. So there's a lot more puck movement. The retrieval was fantastic. The Connor McDavid goal, it was because first Corey Perry jumps 1.5 feet in the air, keeps the puck in. Yeah. Then Evan Bouchard knocks one out of the air with his stick, keeps the puck in. So the puck retrieval was really, really good. urgency. I mean, and again, we've talked about it. I know that Struz doesn't like the words puck luck, and you do have to create a lot of it. But there's been times this year where the Oilers haven't got the bounces. Leon Draisaitl, that is pure puck luck. The puck was not going to where it was supposed to. Comes to Leon, he's got a wide open net, and he's the best goal scorer in the National Hockey League. So that's a little bit of puck luck. But there was more urgency on their power play, and the fact that they keep plays alive. Struds knows it. If you're a penalty killer, you're exhausted. If you're playing a full 2 minutes penalty killing, there's zero chance. And the goal Connor scored, they couldn't close on him. That defenseman was too tired to leave his spot. He was just standing there hoping to get hit with the puck. So urgency and movement were the two biggest things.
Yeah, I love how they phrase that. And I do think they're puck luck, you create your own. I truly do. So whether you want to talk about Bouchard or Perry making that play, but I wonder if this doesn't unlock something, because Brownie, I think that they're not confident with their power play. And that's incredible to think over the last number of years, how many goals they've scored in their power play. They're not confident. So I wonder if tonight just finds them a little bit of that confidence juice heading into next game. And then you build after that. They just keep building, because we've seen that the penalty kill. I forgot who brought it up on the pod, but someone said that they're up to 8 games in a row without getting scored on the PK, which it was a disaster before that. You got to start somewhere.
No, you're right. And actually, I don't know if it's the word confidence, what they will have now, hopefully but swagger. I think that's the biggest thing. Their power play has really lacked is swagger. And I got a game like tonight, they scored 2 goals and they did everything but score on their third power play. So, I mean, tomorrow night they're going to play against a team that can score. They just can't make a save. So their power play will be needed again tomorrow against the Colorado Avalanche.
Confidence juice. Just wondering what the ingredients in confidence juice is, Struds. Confidence juice.
Well, if you have to ask, you've never had any.
That's what Brownie's been drinking all week, I think.
That is what Brownie's been enjoying since 10 a.m. happy hour this morning.
10 a.m. Monday morning.
Yeah. We'll dig into some new content that we didn't cover in the first segment. I feel like Darnell Nurse had another really strong game. And his analytics tonight were good. Shots were 15-7 when he was on the ice at even strength tonight. Looked solid again, skating really, really well. He's putting together a really nice stretch of hockey here, gentlemen, and there's some consistency to it as well. So I think that's maybe honestly, Zuby, maybe that should have been one of the items on our poll tonight, which is of all the things you're feeling confident, which one is the most. Maybe Darnell Nurse's recent play, Struds. What did you see tonight, and what do you think of where he's at right now?
Well, I think it's not so much what I see, it's maybe what I haven't seen, which is those glaring errors that is making people kind of say, man, this guy can play, because he's got great attributes. He's tall, he can skate. He passes the puck hard. Like he loves to fire it, and he can score goals. But then you'd see that one glaring error, like, oh man, like that was, if without that, he might have had a game. So I think it's more about what we're not seeing Brownie more than what we are seeing from him that is separating his game this year from specifically maybe the second half of last year.
100%. You're absolutely right. It's funny, with Darnell more than any other player, he could have 6 blocks where he lays down, puts his face in the way, blocks 6 incredible shots, and then he'll make one bonehead play, and that's all anyone remembers. Yeah. And then it's tough. All players are human. And if the negativity from social media, from media, from fans, it just gets bigger and bigger, and they just keep remembering that bad play you made, well, now you start playing I'm not nervous, because I don't think he played nervous, but you're not playing confident. And I think that's what we saw in Darnell Nurse's game at times last year. He did not look confident. You look at the look on his face was just at times not lost, but it's like befuddled. Like, okay, what is going on? I'm better than what I am. He's been excellent this year. And again, I agree with Struds. You're just not seeing the big mistakes. You're seeing he's simple hockey. And there's like, do you remember a lot of plays by Darnell tonight? No, because he didn't have to. And you just said he outshot I'm not a stats guy, but 15-7. The Oilers were terrible 5-on-5. They were not good in this game 5-on-5. So if Darnell, when he was out there, just think how much the rest of the defensemen were if Darnell was that positive.
How about this one? Even strength, offensive zone possession time tonight. Utah, 6 minutes and 15 seconds. The Oilers, 3:37. So at even strength, Utah possessed the puck in the Oilers zone, in the vicinity of twice as much. So, yeah, it was definitely a night. Here's the other thing about Darnell Nurse, guys. Not going to be on the team, but my understanding is Darnell Nurse played his way into being somewhat in the conversation for Team Canada at the Four Nations. His name, where a lot of us might have thought wouldn't have been in that conversation at the start of the year, I think his rock solid play recently. And I think what we could see with that group when it gets named in a few days is a real focus on erring on the side of making sure they've got the right defenders. Right? There's going to be lots of goal scoring, but I think we could see decisions made where you're going, okay, they want to make sure that they really defend well. And I think for that reason, with that thought process, picking the team, I think that's where Darnell Nurse's name entered the picture. Again, not saying he's going to make the team. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do believe that he worked his way into the collective consciousness of the guys making the decisions, Struds.
And he should be. Like, he's been around a long time. This team's done pretty well, in as far as, kind of playoff runs. And he should be, his goal should have been to make the team. And I'll feel bad if he doesn't make it. I think he's a long shot as well. But, him putting himself in that conversation, he's kind of reasserting himself as what he is, which is a top 4 defenseman that's really not fun to play against and does a lot of good things. And if they get him going and he and Kulak, is that it? Maybe you got your top 4 there. Then it takes pressure off of the staff to make a different choice.
Yes, actually, I said on this podcast last year, we talked about it. I said, I believe Nurse had a better chance of being on Team Canada than Bouchard. I know I could be wrong, but I believe Nurse has the skill set more so in that kind of competition right now.
Do you think that he makes it? Do you think Bouchard makes it?
No. Oh, Bouchard? Yeah, I think he's right on the line. I honestly, for that very reason that I just described, in the way I think they're going to skew a lot of their picks, I think he might be in tough because they've already got some offense tons of offense in Cale Makar to run that power play. And as they're selecting other guys, maybe they err on the side of guys who are a little more defensively stout than Bouchard has shown himself to be in the early going in this season. So I'm not sure on Bouchard, but I can see it going either way at this point. So yeah,
interesting.
Anyway. What do you think, Struds?
Well, who's taking his spot? Noah Dobson? Parayko?
Yeah. You're gonna make me call up my other. I got it.
No, I don't want to get in a big discussion here, but I think he's in the mix, guys. I really do.
Oh, he's in the mix. 100%. He's in the mix.
He's further up the mix than Darnell. Like I think he's
I agree too. I agree too. I just said I believe. I said it last year that I thought Nurse would be there before Bouchard. That's what I said last year.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's discussion for next week because that team is going to be picked on Wednesday the 4th, and we've got 2 or 3 podcasts before then. So we'll definitely be digging into that in the days to come. All right, that was Takeaways brought to you by our good friends over at Martin Motor Sports. When we come back, Brownie Points, Struddy's World, and then we'll slide in Ask Us Anything a little earlier tonight as well, Zuby. So be ready to go with that while we have Brownie. You've got her locked in. 2 Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolanddentistry.com.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
All right, time now for Struddy's World, brought to you by Timberhouse Developments, where if you can dream it, you know they can make it happen over at Timberhouse, a truly customized building experience. They've got your back. Every house is unique. Every customer they treat like family. See what you can dream up together. Contact timberhouse.ca, where they know that you, the builder, are the most important person in the process, and they let you stay involved in the process. Stop by head office. They make great coffee. Stop by the job site. See how it's going. You're welcome on job sites when you're the ones paying the bills. Timberhouse.ca. Okay, Struds, what do you got, buddy?
Yeah, I just want to take the listeners through what it might look like for the Oilers tonight. So the game ended around, let's call it like 9:30, 9:40, whatever it is. Their availability ended around 10 p.m. And then you got to make your way out to the airport. I'm not familiar with how far it is, but I'm just going to guess 20, 30 minutes. So let's say that they set the bus for 10:30, and then that would be 45 minutes after the game ends, roughly. They get on the bus. Let's say it's a half hour. So they get on the plane around quarter to 11:15, somewhere in there. Then you got another, 10, 15 minutes to load the bags, get going. So let's say they leave at 11:30. I checked the flight time from Salt Lake to Denver is about an hour 45. So that gets them in roughly around 1 a.m., 1:30, somewhere in there. Then I know it's a long drive from Denver airport to the hotel. So that's a half hour. So you get in around 2. And that's if everything goes perfectly well. There's no time change, nothing like that. So that's then by the time you get there, settle in, get in your thing, you'd probably sleep 2:30 or 3. So get up the next morning. There won't be a skate for the guys that are playing. So you're looking at maybe 5-6 hours sleep, maybe, because you probably got to get up around 8 or 9, have breakfast, go down the rink or whatever, have a meeting, then have lunch and go back and sleep. So that it's a pretty hard turnaround. That's why it makes these back-to-backs hard. That's the bad news. The good news is Colorado played in Dallas tonight, and that's a 2-hour flight, and their game's at roughly, so they're going to have a bit of a flight home as well, and they're going to both be a little bit tired. But, that's the hard part. I've always found, and Brownie, you can chime in here, is that, it just adds up because you get there and you're not really sleeping on the plane. You get there and you're trying to sleep. You can only sleep for 5 or 6 hours, and you got to get up, and then you get up, eat, have a meeting, eat again, go to sleep, wake up and play again. You're like, I remember waking up sometimes, especially after long road trips, in that afternoon nap and thinking, what city am I in right now? Like where am I? Who am I playing tonight? Not the case for those, just 2 games, but it does get a little tricky with that sleep.
Well, that was like when you used to walk to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, you walk into a wall because, the bathroom is on the left side at the last hotel. Now it's on the right side. Right. And it's funny when everyone say, okay, you get in at 2. Okay, well, you sleep till 8. That's 6 hours. Well, when you walk into a bedroom or a hotel room, you don't fall asleep, especially after a game, after travel. Now that 2 could be 3, 3:30, 4. Some guys take pills to help them sleep. They'll take some NyQuil, something like that. It's tough. And now these players are in much better shape, Struds, than when you and I played, and certainly when I played. But there is usually an advantage on back-to-back to the team that's not playing. Both these teams are. Actually, the Oilers might beat Colorado home in tonight's game. They might get there before Colorado does. But both teams are going to deal with the same thing tomorrow. But, yeah, it is. Well, when I played Struds, a lot of times we didn't have charters the first half of my career. So we'd spend the night and get up early the next morning, change planes somewhere. We'd have middle seats. It was a lot of fun. So these rich new hockey players, they have it easy, Jason, not like what we had.
Were there some guys in your experience who were just significantly better at dealing with tight turnarounds, guys who maybe could sleep on planes a little easier, or who didn't have trouble getting to sleep at night? Like, Was it pretty notable, Struds, if there was someone who either handled it really, really well or someone who was no good on these situations?
I think that what I learned was that if you're tired, just sleep. So if I, you know, let's say we'd play tonight and like not physically tired, but if I was sleepy tired, I know that sounds a little bit different, but you know, I'm tired. I'm just going to eat. I'm just going to close my eyes and I'd sleep for an hour and a half or 2 hours, whatever it was. I would just listen to my body. And I remember trainers saying that all the time, listen to your body, listen to your body. If you're hungry or thirsty or sleepy or whatever it is. And that's how I think I maybe lasted a long time, is I just understood my body as I got older. And this is what I need. This is what I have to do. And like, to be honest, guys, like at 2 a.m., that's really not that bad arrival. I remember sometimes 3, 4 a.m. Arriving the next city. And I remember Pat Quinn, you know, God rest his soul, but he'd make us get up and walk the next day. I'd be so pissed off. All I want to do was sleep. Like, you could make me walk all the way to the arena after lunch, but right now I need to sleep so badly. I'm just bagged. And then, you know, we'd have a slow start and he'd be yelling at us. You're like, oh my God, like we don't have a chance here tonight. But I think it's just important for fans to know, like if they do come out sluggish, or even just in your own mind, it doesn't have to be this game, but another game where there's a longer turnaround, just think about how your body would react and how you'd feel, whether you're coming off a good win or a bad loss.
My body's been saying more tequila all week.
Just pickle me. Pickle
and
me.
I've been listening.
You guys should you should see Zuby when we have a late night Got Your Back, followed by an early morning Ray and Dregs, because we tape that thing early, right? For those that don't know, our company does the Ray and Dregs hockey podcast as well. And that's like, Zuby, we got like some 5:45 a.m. wake up calls on that bad boy. Hey, after like midnight shifts on Got Your Back.
Oh, we start recording at 5:45. It's wheels up at 5:15.
That's when, get your sleep when you can, Zuby. That's why he's sick like 3/4 of the year, you guys, because there's not a lot of sleep with a gig like this. That was Struddy's World, brought to you by Timber Haas Developments. Zuby, go ahead and hit that happy music, buddy, because it is time to bring in Brownie points to the show, located right here in Alberta using prime Alberta beef. It's available in 14 tantalizing flavors, family-owned and operated. That's why we love them. Gotta love a good family business. 1962, they got rocking and rolling. Their Black Friday sale's on now. $85 for 3 pounds of beef jerky, regular $120. So that's a great savings. As always, free shipping Alberta-wide. Hop on to albertajerky.com to get yours. Use the code GOTYOURBACK for an additional 10% off. Brownie, hand out some points, buddy.
All right. Well, this one's for my friend Jason. I'm going to give 17 Brownie points to the Oilers penalty killing unit. 17 straight. It was an important one again tonight for the Oilers. 8 straight, or is it 9 straight? How many games? 8 straight games now for
8.
the
Come on.
8 straight
don't act
games.
like you don't know. You know.
Well, I'm already giving them tomorrow night's game as well. When it'll be 9 games. But the penalty killing unit's been fantastic. I have got 23 Brownie points for Podkolzin. 2 goals back-to-back plus 3 hits, which led the Edmonton Oilers. He is an all-round player. I give him credit. That was a nice shot. 2-on-1, Google 5-hole. You hit the spot. It's in every time. Good for Podkolzin on that one. Good night for him.
He was one of 6 Oilers that decided to throw a body check tonight, Brownie. One of 6 players on the team who thought it might be a good idea to throw a check. Go ahead.
Apparently he didn't need to because they still won the hockey game. I got 90.3 Brownie points for Calvin Pickard. 903 save percentage tonight. He was good. He kept the Oilers in the game early. He didn't allow the Utah Hockey Club to extend it to 3. And the save he made on Nick Schmaltz in the 3rd period, that was a huge save. Schmaltz thought it was in. So Calvin Pickard, another quality start from your backup goaltender. I have 36 Brownie points. That's 1 for each margarita that I've had this week. I'm averaging 6 a day, let you know. And passion fruit is my favorite. So there you go. 36 for the margaritos of Puerto Vallarta. And the final one, I got to give this one. I've got 100 Brownie points to my mom. She looked after her boy here for 6 straight days in Puerto Vallarta. It has been a fantastic time down here. I'm going to miss it. I hear it's nice and warm back there in Edmonton. Can hardly wait to get on an airplane. But 100 Brownie points to my mom for looking after me all week long.
Yeah, balmy.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, you're going to be in for a bit of a surprise when you get off the plane, bud. It is, yeah, you're going to be face punched.
Oh, well, and I got no winter stuff. I'm going to be walking to my car. Thank God my wife drove out to the airport and plugged it in for me. I would have been jump starting a car in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt.
In your string kini. Yeah, exactly. All right, those were brownie points brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. Brownie, we're going to squeeze one last segment out of you before we let you go, and that will be Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. Founded in 1976, BJ Electric Supplies is a full-line distributor providing quality wholesale electrical products for use in industrial, commercial, and residential settings. Proudly owned and operated in Edmonton. Visit bjelectric.ca. Zuby, I'm going to, for the most part, disappear for this segment. So if you want, you could even put yourself in the big box with the two guys. But before you do that, I just want to get to two here that came in. Braden Facco says, just an FYI, I friggin' love this podcast. Keep killing this game, boys. Braden, thank you for the kind words. And then JT Peoples follows up saying, love those stories and breakdowns from Struds. So JT, thank you for the kind words as well. Zuby, what else are they saying, my friend?
Okay, we had a few people ask about this, so I did want to bring it up. CK Pond says, can we ask Struddy about the play with Bouchard when he went flat on the 2-on-1, laying down on his stomach? And not to pile on Bouchard, but that was like almost comical to just it was so slow and so long. It looked like you've ever seen that viral video of the little girl going down the slide super slow. Mm-hmm. That's what that reminded me of. What did you think on that play?
So Craig McTavish and I have debated this a number of times. I don't think we should lay down as D-men. I think that you remove your ability to be mobile. He disagrees. He did a study on it, and he looks at it. When he was coaching, he felt that it reduces the chance of a goal. So I don't know. I guess it's just preference, and it's interesting because he was a forward, I was a D. He was, an NHL coach, and I'm not that. Yeah, go ahead, Brownie.
I'm going to tell you, Struds, that as a player on a 2-on-1 as a forward, the last thing I want is the defenseman to lay down because it takes away one of my options. Now, you got to do it properly. Bouchard didn't do it properly there. He went down way too early. But I hate when a D-man lays down. Now there's only one option, that's to shoot. But it's funny. Last week, Bouchard took a lot of heat for a back check in a game against Toronto. Connor McDavid stopped moving his feet on that. He did not move his feet from the top of the circle down on the 2-on-1 after turning the puck over. And he was about a foot short on getting his stick on the pass across. Bouchard took a bunch of heat on that. And I don't know.
Into him tonight, or at least I did, Brownie. Yeah.
Okay. Just saw that. But as far as laying down on a 2-on-1, way too early for Bouchard. It was telegraphed. But I do think it's an effective play when a defenseman does it right.
All right, KGL39 says, anyone concerned about how Bouchard and Ekholm have been in the D zone overall play-wise? I think Darnell Nurse has been better than both, but do we have ongoing concerns about that pairing in the defensive zone specifically?
Brownie talked about it. I think I kind of said that right now the problem with Bouchard is that his high is high and his low is really low. He's got to raise his low up so the floor is average, right? So you have average or great. And, I think that for Ekholm, he kind of gets, that's your partner. So when things are going well, it feels good. And when it's not going well, you also feel some of that. So not to blame it all on Bouchard, but I think that he's just got to raise his floor up.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right there, Struds. I think, and Ekholm, I feel safe whenever Ekholm's on the ice. I mean, every player makes mistakes, but he has a comfort level. When he's out there, I feel things are going to be okay.
Maybe this is for you, Shogger. Maverick wants to know what's wrong with Arvidsson. Any update on his condition?
Yeah, I don't actually know. They've kind of kept that one fairly quiet, but it's taken a lot longer than I think we originally thought. There was a point in this process where he was actually skating with the team. And I believe was even in warm-up at one point, was he not, for one of the games, or certainly in the pregame skate. And then clearly there was a setback. But if you look at Arvidsson's games played history, he goes through this. He gets hit with this, and he misses chunks like this. So clearly wants to be completely healthy and ready to go. Don't know exactly what he's dealing with.
Okay, Sherry Frazee joining us from Hawaii. She says, still crazy that an unforced error consistently ends up in the back of our net. Seriously, every player can't be perfect every game, but somehow it ends in a goal. Does it feel that way to you guys too? Is it just how it feels, or is that just perception because this is the team that we're all watching so closely?
Well, I think it's perception because it's the team we're watching. Tonight, the Utah Hockey Club made a really big mistake in overtime, ended up in the back of their goals. So big mistakes usually end up hurting you. And the Oilers, I think they're big mistakes that they're making. When the Bouchard won in Toronto cross ice, or today McDavid, the turnover at neutral zone turns into a 2-on-1. Those are big mistakes. We talk about Bouchard got it taken it out of his game. Struds, I think everybody just bring the floor up, make it so your big mistakes are just they're just like mistakes. But the Oilers, sometimes their big mistakes just explode on them too much.
Yeah, I'd call it puck management. So the first goal against, and then the last goal the Oilers scored, both players with the puck on their stick, one in the neutral and one just over the blue line, could have made different choices.
Mm-hmm.
CK Pond saying, good news, if Skinner plays bad, Georgiev can play just as bad. Bet the over tomorrow. Do anyone want to set an over-under on the total? Do you want to guess on an over-under for tomorrow night?
Yeah, I don't think Georgie the Fifth's going to play tomorrow. He played tonight. So my guess is he won't play tomorrow against the Oilers. So it'll be Skinner versus, I don't even know who, something starts with an A, isn't it? The backup for Antonin or something like that.
I honestly, guys, I think we'll see a tighter game tomorrow. Both teams are coming off of a back-to-back, or playing the second of a back-to-back. I think they'll be a little bit more cautious. So I'm going to go the other way, guys. I'm going to play this one. So I'll go over under, I guess 5, under 5. I'll go under 5.
Oh wow!
You can't make it an even number, Jason. You have to make it an
okay.
odd number.
4.5. Then I'll say 4.
Wow.
Okay, I'm going to go over then. I'm going over then.
Eustace Annonin is the backup on the list here for the Avalanche.
I have Owl.
Anything else, Zuby, or are we wrapped up?
Then we got a couple more. How about here's a hot take. Hot take from Oil League. Pickard is the number one. At least you know what he's going to give you every night. When might that actually be a conversation, guys?
I mean, I'm not going to say that it's crazy or ridiculous or anything. I mean, look at their numbers this year, and Calvin Pickard is, but he's not carrying the same load that Stuart Skinner is. And if he were, I'm not sure where his numbers would be. But Calvin Pickard, I'm not sure if this is updated for tonight, but he's got an .895 and a 2.5 goals against average. Stuart Skinner has an .882 and a 3.23 goals against average. 15 starts to 8. So, just under double the number of starts. But Calvin Pickard has had as many quality performances. He's been pretty good on a lot of nights here. Brownie, Struds, anybody think it's ridiculous?
I don't think it's ridiculous. But also look at the level of competition as well. I think Skinner's getting the tougher of the teams, as opposed. I mean, Skinner's getting Colorado, and Pickard got Utah. So, but I do believe, to me, Pickard's given him quality starts. It's been a while since we haven't seen a quality starter, Calvin Pickard. He's doing exactly what you want in a backup goaltender, and good on him having people discussing. We're having a discussion. That's because Pickard's played well.
He's giving you a chance, but I think for this team to have long-term success, Skinner has to be the guy.
Okay. Yep. One more question and then just a couple of quick comments. CK Pond says, also, I think Bouchard passed up some shots tonight on the power play. I noticed that as well. Do you think that contributed in any way to them causing a little more chaos and making a little bit more success?
Well, I think what we've seen a lot lately with Bouchard on the power play is he's hitting shin pads, and then the play is dying, and the puck's hitting, it's going out. They're getting it, retrieving it, and throwing it down the ice. I think tonight he saw if he had a shot lane, he would take it. If not, he moved the puck. And that's something they probably talked about. Literally, it was killing their power play, the number of shots Bouchard was having blocked. And tonight, I thought he was much better moving the puck. As Strud said, his puck management on the power play, I believe, was much better than it had been the last number of power plays.
Enough said?
Yeah, you nailed it, yeah.
Okay, let me just check in with a couple of our friends here. Starting over at 61 said, sorry I missed Wednesday's pod. I was at the Sea Monkey trying to use up the endless supply of Brownie points. I hope Rob knows they're linked to his credit card. Thanks for the drinks, Brownie. And then Sherry also added, hey there, got your back. I'm so sad I missed Wednesday's pod. Boo to having to work. Great pod as always. Each and every one of you are funny in your own right. And I definitely LOL often. So I think that was to prop you up a little bit there, Shogger. I thought that was very nice.
This just makes it worse. Thank you, but you made it worse.
Unsolicited. She wanted you to know that. I thought that was very kind.
The poll says she isn't right.
The numbers don't lie, Sherry. We are not all equally funny in our own right. Oh, that's funny. All right, that was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. Brownie, that is it, my friend. You are free. So we'll chat with you from parts unknown, wherever you land after the next game, buddy.
Sounds good. Take care, guys.
All right, buddy. Safe travels, my friend. That was Rob Brown. Struddy, why don't we get to a scoreboard here before we hop to our break? And that is brought to you by Canadian Club in honor of the founding year of the Canadian Club Distillery, 1858. The all-new CC Classic 18-year-old high proof comes in at 58% for all you whiskey connoisseurs out there. Highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date, full-bodied whiskey with aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, and rich oak with a butterscotch finish that is so smooth. Struds, we're going to talk lots about the Calgary Flames and Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. We can give their score, but one of a pile of games on the schedule tonight.
Yeah, no games yesterday, 15 the day before, and 14 today. So I cherry-picked a few. Canucks 4-3 overtime winners over the Sabres. Connor Garland has 2 goals, including the overtime winner. Then you got the Kings and the Ducks going at it at home. Lafreniere gets the game winner and his 10th goal of the year, so he's doing well. Vegas 4, Jets 3. 2 battle of the Titans in the Western Conference so far this year, and the Jets come up on the short end of that stick. And then finally, the Stars beat the Avs. Mason Marchment 3 points tonight for that group, two goals and assist. So the Avs are coming in limping after a loss. The Oilers are going in, I don't know if hot. They've got 2 wins in a row, but they're winning. And I think that's I can't say they're hot after 2 wins, but I mean, I think this is always fun to see McKinnon, McDavid go at it hard, I guess, in a game.
Tired legs or not, should be a fun one. Do you see Macklin Celebrini's goal tonight? That shot?
Yeah.
Kid can shoot the puck, man. San Jose struck for 8 tonight. Celebrini had a beauty. What'd you think?
Yeah, no, he I think got injured in training camp. He played a game maybe, and then he missed, and he's coming back. And I'm not gonna lie, like I have a really hard time watching that very bottom of the league, and so mostly Macklin. I see him in the highlights, but they seem to have something there, and they're not. You can squint really hard. Maybe you can see the foundation, maybe with Askarov, who was sent back down, but Will Smith, another guy there. Maybe, just maybe, there might be something there growing.
That was our scoreboard, brought to you by Canadian Club. Still to go on the show, we're going to take a lap, look at some other big stories going on around the National Hockey League, and a name that is familiar to Oiler fans coming up in our HSE Core Blue Liners segment. Still lots ahead here on the show. This has Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
Time now for our Core Blue Liners, brought to you by HSE Core Services. If you're a small to medium-sized business, HSE Core has your back when it comes to health and safety compliance. From creating and managing a tailored health and safety program that meets all legislation and core requirements, HSE Core supports clients' operations every step of the way. Check them out, www.hsecor.com. hsecor.com for more information. And a Oiler draft pick in the spotlight tonight for you, Struds.
Yeah, Michael Kesselring. So he 24 years old. Remember, he was traded down to Phoenix, now Utah, a couple runs ago, and a big defenseman, 24, is getting a huge opportunity there in Utah. Obviously, John Marino goes down with an injury. Jersey goes down with an injury, and it doesn't sound like Shea Weber will be back at all. So, he moved up massively up the chain of players, and he's getting a huge opportunity to play. Tonight he was 22 minutes. Big guy, really, really skates well, very confident with the puck. Tonight you could see it, a couple times he'd kind of skate from behind his net, go up to the blue line, didn't like what he see, and he retreat back. And just, that's a confident play. That's not a player that's doubting himself or wondering what the play is. He's like, I'm going to hold on to the puck. I don't like what I see. I'm not going to force it up there. So really good at that. He makes nice passes. Not going to suggest he's as good a passer as Bouchard, but early in the year, if you may have seen, he made a great pass on a game-winning goal. I think it was a game-winning goal. Then he kind of twirled his stick, like really, really confident. So, what did look like a massive deal at the time is now the Oilers are missing, big defensemen that can skate and play and cover a lot of ground. I don't see him killing a lot of penalties, which is a little bit interesting when you look at kind of his size and his reach. Maybe that'll come later. But he's a fun D-man to watch. Would he be playing this much with those guys still healthy? Unlikely. But he's making the most of his chance now and kind of solidify himself as a, more than just a 6'7" D-man.
Yeah, having a pretty good year here. So, 15 goals for, 8 goals against when he's on the ice at even strength this season with Utah. So the numbers are good. The analytics are good. You like what you see. The eye test is good. This is a good player, man. And I know it hurts, Struddy. Like you are throwing a dagger here at Oiler fans because that right side in this trade was a Bukestad trade, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bukestad. But it was Bukestad, and wasn't it a pick and for Kesselring and a pick, I think, if I want to say.
Yeah, I believe it was. And that was a tough one. Like Bukestad was a decent ad at that deadline. And I like Nick Bukestad at the time. I didn't necessarily hate the trade, but hadn't watched the American League as much. And people who had been watching it were saying, this is a good defenseman that they're giving away here. And that's definitely come to fruition. I like the way this Utah team looks and feels, those Struds. They got some mojo. They got some youth and some speed, and they got some exciting play. Like they got a pretty good jam going. And I have to say, I really like the Sweaters.
I love the hockey club, right? My son and I were driving, and he's like, "What's with the name, Dad?" I'm like, "I love the name." You think about Chelsea Football Club or whatever. Like it's quite popular in other sports, not in hockey. But Dylan Gunther, he's got 10 goals this year. He's coming out. I don't think Logan Cooley has completely figured it out yet, but he's a young player. So, but he has flashes. And like I said, they're missing two veteran kind of key cogs in their back end right now, and they're still doing what they're doing.
Ro Nelson says Kesselring has a wicked shot too, had 13 goals in 49 games when traded, but everyone covets a big right shot fourth line center over a homegrown draft pick right defenseman. I think it's more need in the moment versus need down the road, because if we recall, the Oilers were needing to bolster their center ranks heading into that trade deadline. And that's the zone they're in right now. They're trading pieces of the future to help themselves out right now. And there are going to be some painful things that happen when you're trying to win right now. And Kesselring is definitely an example of that. That was Core Blue Liners, brought to you by HSE Core Services. Okay, Struds, let's take a couple of laps. That's brought to you by our friends over at Acon. 150 years they've got in the construction industry. And one of Canada's original leaders in heavy industrial contracting, very proud to operate across North America, but certainly right here in Edmonton. And the thing about Acon is they're hiring, and quite often they're hiring. So if you are looking for work, if you're a tradesperson, skilled laborer, whatever, go on to acon.com and click join our team. There's quite a wide range of jobs. So if you're looking for work, or if someone you know is looking for work, acon.com. Check it out. Great company to work for, proudly operating here in the city of Edmonton. Okay, Struds, let's take a few laps, buddy.
Yeah, so we'll start with a game I didn't get to. Columbus and the Flames. Columbus just spanks the Flames 5-2. Well, I guess not spanking, but there was a lot of fights in this game. In fact, two players fought twice. Martin Popisil fought twice in the second period, as did Mathieu Olivier, and he was my Relentless player, I believe, last game. Some time ago. Anyways, he fights, he runs Joel Hanley from behind, and he only got 2 minutes, which I was surprised by. But anyways, he didn't get a 5 minutes, so he doesn't get kicked out. So Pospisil fights him. And then a short time later, when he gets out of the box, Ryan Lomberg steps up right off the face-off. They square off and go at it. And Lomberg, I love Lomberg. They call him the Lamborghini. But Schauger, he's not at that weight class. You go up to that weight class, and it's not pretty. And he, to his credit, he didn't go down. He didn't get dropped, didn't get knocked out, but he took some hit shots.
Yeah.
But that's the problem when you're a smaller guy and you try to step up to the bigger guy. It's one thing to fight a guy who's maybe not a tough guy, maybe more of a mauler, but Olivier knows how to fight. And Lomberg was out of his league. So exciting game. Feel like the fights 5-2
and emotional between these two teams, right? Anytime the Flames and Blue Jackets play, like it's going to be emotional. There's, very much so. But they honor the game, and when it got going, the competitive spirits come flying out. I didn't like the hit by Olivier. I would have been fine with them giving him 5. I just think why downgrade that? He ran the guy from behind, hurt the guy. Like, why downgrade that penalty? I do not understand. This league needs to get serious about hitting from behind. It's just, it's ridiculous sometimes. Anyways, not going to get on a soapbox there. No. By the way, we might be hearing from Lomberg for our play of the day, because he talked post-game. I loved his post-game interview. So more Ryan Lomberg coming up, and we'll see the results of that scrap as well. Struds, where else?
Winnipeg Jets are off to a really good start, slowing down a bit, but I mean, it was inevitable. So I'm not calling their season over, but it might not help. Nick Ehlers got his foot stepped on in the game, and he left the game versus Vegas. 24 points in 23 games. So Nicky Ehlers out, not sure which way it's going to go, but just you got off to such a good start. There's only one way to go, and that's down. And then injuries start happening. I wonder where it takes him from there. So we'll get an update on Nicky Ehlers at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, still pacing things in the Western Conference, right? What are they in their last 10? They got 5 wins in their last 10 games. They've dropped back-to-back games here. He is definitely going to be a big loss for them. A lot of people think that Scheifele will be on Team Canada too. I think there's a real good chance with the way he's played this year. Probably, I think when Mike Johnson and Craig Button did their final call on Team Canada's roster, I believe they had Scheifele on McDavid's line up near the top of the lineup, potentially in the spot a lot of people think Zach Hyman might have been in before. So I feel like he should probably be there. You?
Yo, for sure. How can he not? You got to deny it. And I think just when you look at the way it's gone so far for some players in the league, I think he's a guy that's pushed himself right into that conversation.
Yeah. I was taking a lap brought to you by our friends over at Acon. Not sure if this is confirmed or not. I don't have the stat in front of me, but Davin firing in on the stream saying Leon had 5 penalties in his first 7 games, 0 in his last 16. Not sure if that's the case, but Davin's usually pretty reliable on the stream. That was a storyline early on in the season. We all remember the benching, and he's tightened it right up, Struds.
Yeah. You can kind of mark it from when Connor got hurt, that he's really kind of taken off. And listen, pieces are starting to fall into place. If we can agree that the power play is going to get going now, penalty kill is kind of in its place. I think the goaltending has got to be dialed in, and then get healthy, and then get the healthy guys playing and scoring. maybe this team goes on a bit of a run.
Zuby, I know you were about to remind me to wrap up the poll, right, buddy? You weren't going to let me wrap the show without it, were you? You'd forgotten too. So
no, I was right. I got the being. Not only do I have the shot here, I got to give love to BJ Electric because I accidentally had DeBoer's up. I got confused on the. I had DeBoer's up for the Ask Us. Just out of order, out of sorts. So we want to give some love back. So now, to be fair, we'll put BJ Electric. That's a great logo up there they got. I like the green. So BJ Electric with a little extra love here. But let's get back to our YouTube poll. What are people feeling it the most over, Zuby? Yeah, so most encouraging sign for the Oilers right now. Struddy's influence looming large. People loving the PK. PK perfect in 8 straight. 51%. Of the vote, and I guess as the special teams all around, because power play starting to click came second at 33%, some secondary scoring 11%, and 97-29 lighting it up. Only 3% of the vote over 300 votes tonight. Lots of folks on the stream, and people loving the special teams. It's what they want to see, I guess. Fantastic. All right, time to wrap the show with our play of the day, brought to you by Gallery Dental. Take the first step towards a stress-free dental experience. At Gallery Dental, they provide modern dentistry for today's patient with the most up-to-date dentistry, sedation, implants, and so much more. Contact GalleryDentalYEG.com. And Struds, Ryan Lomberg almost needed Gallery Dental tonight, buddy. That was... He was what is Lomberg, 5'9" or 10, 185 pounds, and Buddy is 6'2", 227 or something? Yeah. That was not a fair fight. And, I love that he got in there and then fought him, but I mean, that is, to me, Rishaug, that's just way out of his league. And even a teammate's got to be like, buddy, you don't have to do this. All right, one more time to the Weiss Johnson soundbox. Zuby, show us the results of the fight as we listen to Lomberg's post-game comment.
I'd be lying if I said I was hoping he kind of got the 5-minute penalty there, but they reversed it and gave him the 2, and I knew that I knew what had to be done, for my team and my teammates, and that's what we're about here. Whether you win or lose, you go down swinging for one another, and that's the type of teammate I am, and that's I'm not going to stop doing it. You can get a little closer,
Yeah, that picture courtesy Eric Francis, by the way, on Twitter. So, he's got some zippers, some stitches in the side of his head, Struds. But listen, we got to respect it. Well-earned play of the day. Ryan Lomberg had his teammates back. And that is a classic example of what we're talking about on this podcast. Got your back, buddy. Prime example right there. Yeah, and his teammates love him. I've heard Ryan Huska talk about he loves them. They all love him. He's a great teammate to have. Can you imagine? He gave him the nod. We're going, big guy. Yeah. What a mismatch. What's the smallest guy you ever fought? Maybe Carcillo. Dan Carcillo, maybe. Yeah, he was scrappy. But, yeah. Because, it's a little bit too small, but it's fine. I mean, it's just that Olivia, he really knows how to fight, right? And there was no doubt. He didn't hold back. No, there was no doubt. He didn't hold back at all. Yeah. That was a victory. It was a victory for the Blue Jackets and Olivier. I love how Lomberg was so honest. I'm not going to lie to you. I was kind of hoping he'd get 5 in a game. He wouldn't have had to do that, but I know. You're just like, oh, why does that have to be him? You're just like, why him? But you do your job. That's it. Same time tomorrow night, buddy. Done deal. Good job tonight, pal. Thank you. See you guys later. All right, Zuby. Good job in there, my friend. Well done as always. Thanks, buddy. Fun show. Let's do it again. Yeah, it was great. We had great numbers on the live stream tonight, too. We really appreciate you spending your evening with us after the game. We're going to do it again tomorrow night, so make sure you tune in. Thank you for your downloads, your subscriptions. Thanks for joining us here on the live stream. If you aren't already subscribed to all of our channels, please do so. We want to build up that subscription base. Spread the word. Tell your friends about Got Your Back. Let's try and get more people on the live stream. Invite your friends. More conversation. We love it. It's a fun ride, and we really appreciate you being on it with us. We'll talk tomorrow after the game. Thanks to Play Alberta, our title sponsor. See you soon.